the PrepZone Podcast. I'm your host, Estevao Divino, and I have here with me today the captains of the boys volleyball team, Siskind and Sawyer Makl. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How about
Good.
you?
Yeah, no, listen, great to have you guys here. It's been a very exciting year so far. I think very different than last year.
Yeah.
So, Mason, let's start with you. We're 3 games deep in the season. We're 2-1.
Yeah.
How's it been so far?
I think it's been good so far. I really like how we played. We had a tough one against Barlow, which is our second game of the season. I think they're probably the best team in the state this year. Big blockers. I think that was a big humbling experience for our team after going sweeping and going 1-0. And playing a different position this year is definitely really different. It's really hard to adjust, but I'm getting used to it. So I think Amity was really where I started to figure everything out.
Yeah, and Sawyer, for you, how have those early 3 games been?
The first 3 games have been great. I think that everybody has been playing a ton over the off season. A lot of the work that we've been putting in, over club, over practice, captains practices, has really been coming through. The team's a lot more mature. Everybody's come together more. The team chemistry's there. And I think everything's just been gelling a lot more this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the team chemistry part. It's definitely better than what last year's was.
So what, Mason, for you, I mean, you mentioned about playing a new position. What's the biggest adjustment for you so far these 3 early games? What can you say it's been is it a mental, is it a physical play? What's the biggest thing for you?
It's kind of everything. It's such a different position. Now I'm playing middle this year, and I played setter last year. It's so much different. It's kind of a lot of defense or some offense, and then when you're setter, you don't play basically any defense. You play a little bit, but it's you're the centerpiece of the offense. You're running the whole offense, and just getting used to where you are on the court and where you're not supposed to be now that you're not that position is the hardest.
No, I do notice that you do get out of the way quick.
Yeah.
You've been doing a really good job with that. That can't be said for everything, but
Yeah.
I know that you do a really good job with that.
I've been trying to do that a lot, just trying to know where I am on the court and kind of just stay in the game as a middle because I don't really have much experience playing the position. And then blocking's also been hard, trying to read where the set's going and trying to get there as fast as possible. Barlow was a super hard game with that because they run a lot of quick sets and their offense is super fast, so it's super hard to get from place to place. And then hitting's obviously a big step up from being a setter where you don't really hit. So
and now you're asked to put points away. It's different. Yeah, it's totally different. Sawyer, for you, what's the biggest difference playing club and high school?
Ooh. I think during the club season, it was there's a lot of different kind of tempo changes, and in terms of the people I'm playing with and the coaching and the people I'm playing against, where in club, it was a lot more pressure to have to feel like I have to put every ball away, because if I didn't, it just felt like everything was coming right back down, and it was a lot more fast paced. But with school season, we're still playing a lot of really good teams, but the thing that's hardest about school season is that the schedule is so much more packed. It's 6 out of 7 days a week of just playing volleyball, and it's just a constant grind.
Yeah.
And it's it really takes a toll, especially once you get deep in the season. It's hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah, I know, and I follow you guys closely, and I've been asked by a few people, and I'm like, will they stay healthy? Right? I mean, that's the biggest thing. You guys have stuff there. I mean, Mason, last year you guys, it was a tough season, but you're also, injuries played a big part of what happened last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, our two captains getting hurt was probably the biggest hit on our team. That was the most crushing thing, thinking that we were gonna make a huge run. We had an all-state player, perennial all-state player, first team. We had another big middle, we were much bigger last year without those 2 injuries. And then once I heard Kareem was out, it was rough, but I knew we could still make a run. And then once Ashton was out, it kind of was that was really deflating for me as a player. And I think that kind of affected my play a little bit just throughout the season.
Yeah. And then for you, Sawyer, a 3-15 season last year, and already been much better this year, but what was your biggest takeaway from last year that you think is helping you this year?
Yeah, for me, I think kind of those injuries were, I guess, a blessing and a curse in a way, because I was definitely really looking forward to playing with Ashton and Kareem, especially Ashton, because he's so unbelievably good. And I felt like there was a lot that I could have taken away from his game and a lot I could have learned playing with him. But I think I definitely wouldn't have gotten the same opportunity I did if that didn't happen. I don't think I would have been playing outside last year.
No.
I wouldn't have gotten all the sets I did. I wouldn't have been kill leader last year. And so
even when you when Kareem was hurt and we still had Ashton for a couple practices, we were gonna put you at middle.
yeah, I was gonna
So
play
you're-
middle or I was gonna play right side.
And
Like
who
I
knows what
wasn't
would
playing
happen,
outside.
right? I mean, 'cause think about it. If you play middle last year, you go really well, and this year maybe you play middle again. You just never know, right?
Right, which
Yeah.
I definitely not something I would be looking forward to.
I think it's just like a big part like of what last season taught us. You just have to fill whatever role like the team needs. Like
That's a
I was
good
talking
point.
to coach after the season, and we didn't have a middle. We had nobody to play middle. I never played middle in my life. Like I've swung a couple times in hitting lines. Like I played fine, but I told him that I would step in whatever role he wants me to be. So
And that's a good point, right? I mean, I think that they always talk about, good teams are coach-led, but great teams are player-led. So for you guys to be thinking about the squad before, it really kind of shows you where you can kind of go this year. So, Mace, we'll start with you. What are, like, realistically your goals for this year for the team, and where do you think you can be?
my goals, I think my number one goal is to get an FCAC championship. FCAC, it's good. It's still like the best conference in the state, I think,
Yep.
this year, but it's very wide open. Like all of the teams are very similar in scale. Almost all of our FCAC games are going to be dogfights, especially when they have like league stakes when you have to play.
Yeah,
for
it
FCAC
is.
standings.
I mean, if anybody's followed volleyballs knows that, I mean, the FCAC is cream of the crop, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Right.
the top teams. And like you're talking about being wide open, I was looking, I mean, Darien lost a game this year. It's the
Right.
first game, 2019. So it shows you how this year, everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
Year to
Yeah,
year
I
is
think
very
a lot
different.
of the teams last year were super senior heavy. When you look at teams like Darien and Trumbull, who were dominating the FCAC, but they were incredibly senior heavy. And now that class is gone, a lot of teams like lost. I don't want to say their identity, but they lost major pieces that made them what they were. So being able to come back and play them again this year, it's really exciting.
Yeah, one thing that's, I mean, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I feel like for high school, it's almost like you're starting over every year.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
For sure.
You carry some of the players, but like you said, you were playing different position. You guys are doing something different. You just never know how this is going to go. And this year, you guys already have some underclassmen who are playing big roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, which sophomores who maybe we didn't think were going to do, but they've been doing really well. So how do you guys take like this young class and you kind of prepare the program for the future?
I think we're super lucky that, especially last year, we had such a strong, especially freshman and sophomore class, and that's kind of what we've been able to build around going into this season, and we're still going to be able to build around going into next season. And it just makes it a lot easier to kind of get everybody to gel when you're playing with the same people from season to season and from like over summer captain's practices to captain's practices. I think that's like one of the biggest things that's helped us this year.
Yeah, I think like special shout outs to like Will Stout and Jax. Those two and Gael as well. Like they all got so much better
Oh yeah.
over their club season. Like they improved so much, and now they're gonna need to help us make a run. They're just gonna keep getting better. So
Yeah, I mean, you need depth, right?
Yeah,
if
for
last
sure.
year's taught us anything, I mean, I think at some point all of you guys were out of one or two games last year.
yeah,
Right.
Right? I mean, and nobody really played all games because it's just like you said, it's just so much, right? I mean, we're talking about, 3 games a week, sometimes even like 4 if you put in Saturday with the practices. So it is a big part staying healthy, right? So we'll definitely do that. Now, as you guys think about, what's down the road, obviously, you have some matchups in mind. But who are you looking most forward to play this year?
I think we both
West
have the
Hill.
same answer. Yeah.
West Hill?
West Hill. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, why? I would think it'd be somebody else, but walk me through why.
I have two. It's West Hill and it's Ridgefield.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one West Hill, I don't know. I played in that game my sophomore year. That was a game where I started. We didn't have Ashton playing. He was sick. We didn't have Kareem my sophomore year. We didn't have a lot of our players. Like our depth was like terrible. We had to go to like basically the bottom of the bench to get like a full starting lineup. So we played them, and it was a dogfight. Their full team was healthy. They were pretty good that year too. Went 5 sets, and we lost maybe off like one of the worst calls that I've ever seen like in my volleyball career. And just ever since then, it's kind of just been beat West Hill. And last year, like I made that like a special game, like marked it on our calendar for everyone. Like
This kid woke
went
up
to
at like
win.
it was like 4 a.m. before the game of West Hill. He sends the whole team group chat a video of him going on like a mile run the morning before school that day.
Yeah.
That's how That's how pumped you were for that
He
game.
was locked in.
Yeah. I mean, so and is that for you too, West Hill?
Oh yeah, easily.
And what's the reason? Yeah, I know he's kind of the same reason.
Yeah, kind of the same reason. A bit of the reason might be a little bigger than volleyball, but they're definitely the team that I most want to go out and play.
And Ridgefield is kind of like there's just so much history there.
Right.
With
Yeah.
Our two teams, my freshman year, we beat them twice in the regular season. We played them in the FCAC tournament and the state tournament, and they beat us both times there. Mm-hmm. And just, I don't know. I kind of want to knock Ridgefield off. They just
Well, it's like and I was doing some research before this and looking. You have to go back to 2013, the last time that a non-FCAC team has won the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and Darien has been like the last few years, but before that was Staples Ridgefield. That's what it was for many years, right? I mean, we can go to the gym, look at all the banners. It's us, right? It's Staples and them. So I can totally see that. But think about that. It's a long time where the FCAC just kind of dominates.
Yeah.
Right, it is. So now, and this question more towards you, Mason. I mean, senior, you look back at your 4-year career. Anything that stands out to you, like as the moment that, like, man, this was like a really cool moment for me at the Staples. You still got a whole season to make histories, but how about up to now?
I think my best days are yet to come, but I think maybe one of my favorite memories is playing against Norwalk when I was also a sophomore in that game, and having Ashton, who's a junior, and he was like one of my really good friends. Just playing with him, like being able to set him the ball, like him putting it away. It was a fun game to play. Like Norwalk was a scrappy team, but like we had more talent than them. So they made it kind of close, but at the end of the day, like that game was just super high energy. Everybody was like in good spirits. I think overall that was like our most complete game as a team last year or 2 years ago, and I think that was like the best moment so far.
So far for you, any game stands out?
Across my Staples career, I only have been at Staples for last year and this year. But honestly, I think the most exciting game for me might have been our last matchup against Amity.
Yeah, Amity was a good game.
That
or like Massick.
Massick last year was really good.
Even though Massick, it was like a 5-set match, and they ended up winning.
I do remember that. You guys came back from 2 sets down, right? It was 2 sets down before the 5th set.
They had a really good outside hitter. He really started to turn up.
Right.
And they won the state last year. Yeah.
And they beat Barlow. So they were a really good team. That was also like a great game. That was super fun.
Especially because like during those first 2 sets of Massick, it almost felt like we had no business like being in the same gym as them at a certain point.
And then we kind of turned it around.
That was a memorable game. And I mean, not to say too much, but you guys in 1 set beat Massick already this year.
Yeah,
on the scrimmage there. Yeah, but that was fun. But yeah, I think that the season is looking really good. I mean, the Amity game I think could be a turning point for you guys. I mean, I think you guys you showed a lot of heart in that game.
I think like we kind of. In those type of games, in those close games, you as like an individual player, you always get better no matter what sport it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that game, for me especially, I think that's been my best game so far this year. I feel like I figured everything out, like being a middle. Like I felt way more comfortable in the position than especially like the past 2 games before that. And it was a really fun game. It was a really good game. We came back from 11-5 in the 5th set.
It was, and then like for me, like I watch a lot of volleyball with you guys, and it's like I know that the kills are like the biggest play, but I love a good block.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing more demoralizing when somebody goes a hit and somebody blocks that person there.
Yeah, so my blocking is like that game especially. I started to figure it out a little bit more.
Yeah, it'll really get better. So as we close here, if we sit back here, in June, because June 6th is the state final, right? But let's just say, so, and I know you talked about the FCAC as your goals, but what do you? We'll start with you, Sawyer. What do you consider a successful season in your mind?
I think a successful season, we definitely want to end with a record over 500, right? And like, I don't know. Of course, I want to make the deepest run in states possible.
Right.
I'm going to go out there and play like it's the last game of my life. But I think for a successful season, we definitely want to obviously make states and FCX, and we don't want to lose I think it'd be really demoralizing if we lost to somebody in a FCAC or state playoff that we had beat in the regular season.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah, because if you feel like you're going there, you got the edge, right? Yeah.
Right.
How about for you, Mason?
I think a successful season, like obviously you want to be competitive. I think this season especially, like over the last couple games, last couple weeks, like our team chemistry has gotten a lot better. Like we started to get to know each other like a lot better, and we kind of just like want to win for each other.
Right.
And especially since my last year, I like way higher expectations than they do. Like I want to go out, win an FCAC championship.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go out on yeah, of course.
And I want back to back.
Yeah,
I got one more year in me.
I think a successful season is we kind of clear up all of our kind of spotty areas when it comes to playing, like our blocking, just all stuff, like all that type of stuff, and clean all that up and just become a complete team. And then in the FCAC or state tournament, if we lose, like we better bring it to 5.
Right.
Yeah,
Better give it all we have, and then
if we lose,
I'll be satisfied.
it better not be because we didn't show up. If we lose,
It's a
it better.
good
It's
point.
like
Yeah,
it has to be because they were the better team, and they legitimately beat us. If we lose because it's like on us and we're making errors and nobody wants to play, that's what would make it really upsetting.
Right. And I've been around you guys enough to know like it's so. I look for it because what we saw at least from the stands on that Edmund view is that you guys fought. I mean, you were down 2-1, right, and then it's just like something clicked, and you guys didn't shy away from it. You know, everyone was making plays because and they play off your head. So that was
at 18, 17.
I know it's like the ball hits off your head, the style hits it up, Jack gets it over. Next thing you know, it's a tie. It's one of those things that it kind of, you gotta be good, but you gotta have some luck too.
Yeah,
right.
That was like the ball
the perfect
hit your
bounce.
head at like the
Like
perfect
2
point.
degrees to the
When
left, and that ball's
when I
going
saw
off
it
my
going
head into
down
the
your-
net.
Like when I saw the ball like hitting your head, I was like, oh, we just lost again.
Yeah, the other team started jumping up and down and celebrating.
Yeah.
Right.
But during that game, it's I think the only reason that we were able to come out there and keep fighting, because last year, I think if we were in that situation, we 100% fold there, and we don't pull that through. But I think this year, especially because everybody knows each other and it's the same like kind of team composition as last year, everybody was there to support each other. Like I remember during that 5th set, it was, we're tied past 15. I go in the front row, and it was like Pierce. He came up to me. He just goes, "It's you versus that other outside, and everybody here has your back. So just rip it." And like him saying that, and then I just went up with that other outside, and we were just trading back and forth every point until I went back to the service line.
Yeah.
And just like knowing I had my team behind me, it was like it made it so much more fun and like kind
Really
of
cool
lit
story.
that competitive spirit.
I think that was kind of the story as well. In like the first set, we really had that where I felt the whole team was like behind me. Like I was making big plays. Like I was getting big blocks on their best hitter. I was putting balls away. And then 5th set obviously came out with a dub, which was crazy. But
No, it was like I think it was insane, and like like you guys said last year, maybe that would have gone a different way. This year, it's going the right way, right? And that could set up really the confidence because it's a momentum, right? I mean, it's runs,
sure.
and I think
it's momentum.
I think it was our assistant coach X talked to us going into the 4th set. Sedlock was doing some sort of lineup change, and he kind of like gave us a little bit of inspiration to go out there and play with more energy. He told us basically the other team's playing like it looks like they want more than you guys right now. They're celebrating after every point. They're getting hyped. They want to beat Staples. They want to knock off Staples. And you guys, like, this is our game to lose. It's not their game to lose. And
after he said that, we went on like a what? It was like 12-1 run to start the 4th
You
set.
you open it 12, so yeah, it was 2 service runs, but it's like it was 5-1 and then 12-1.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was like it was, but those are the turnaround points, right? That you're working with, and then it kind of goes. But listen, we're excited to see what happens this year. I think you guys are gonna do great, right? And hopefully we'll be back here in June talking about a state championship, right? That would be something else. And before we go, I do want to do some quick hits with you guys, right?
Sure.
Get some personal, get to know. So we'll ask the questions. You both answer them, all right?
All right.
Cool. All right. So Mason, texting or calling?
Texting or calling? I think calling.
I think texting. I feel like calling. It's like only if it's something really important.
All right. TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram. I don't have TikTok.
Instagram.
All right. Name one guilty pleasure song on your playlist.
Guilty pleasure song on my playlist. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a song. Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo.
No. Daddy's Home by Usher.
That is on bios, all right. What is the last series you binge watched?
Last series I binge
Since
watched.
I binge watched.
I actually don't
Wait,
last series I binge watched.
it's definitely something like with my family.
Yeah, 100%. I think I recently actually I binged the like Avatar: The Last Airbender series with one of my friends.
Which one?
Actually, I rewatched it, like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
They show it
okay,
for one of
yeah.
my kids, and we rewatched it.
I think the last show I binge watched was Inside Job with one of my friends.
All right, I like that. All right. What is one hobby or interest that you think more people should give it a try?
Hobby or interest that more people should give a try.
That you do that you're like, I enjoy this, and maybe more people should give this a try.
Yeah.
I don't know. Been getting more into like golf. Like I went out the other day and I like a pretty solid thing. But like I think a lot of people play golf anyway. Like golf is gonna be a big hobby for me. I don't think there's like a hobby that I really do. I think a lot of my hobbies are a little bit basic.
Yeah, same. I think a lot of my hobbies just like volleyball, go to the
Yeah.
gym, do my work,
Same thing.
like play some video games. That's
Just
like
kind of stay with the standard stuff. Yeah,
Right.
that sounds good too. What is the coolest thing in your room?
Coolest thing in my
coolest
room.
thing in my room.
Probably I have like a Star Wars poster, episode 4. I think that's the coolest thing in my room.
How about you?
For me, I think it's either I have a poster of Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Alright.
I have a Patrick Beverly poster.
Oh, that's the best.
Those are really good things. That's really good things. All right. Which superhero would you pick to be your best friend and why?
What superhero? Spider-Man.
Batman.
Why?
Because Spider-Man's just like a relatable guy. I mean, he's gonna try and keep a secret from me, but he's just like chill, like nice kid. He's not like, and I feel like I relate to him more just because we're like teenagers. But
Yeah, I
Had
think
it.
Batman and I have a lot of similarities.
yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
explain
I
on
think
that.
we get along.
You
pretty
get
well.
along with Batman?
Yeah,
Similarities? I like that. What is the funniest or more interesting thing Coach Sadlock has ever told you?
Funniest or most
There's,
interesting?
I know there's
thing?
something here.
There's
so
he
much.
says a lot of stuff. What I'm trying to think of like some like there's so many things that he said last year that were questionable, definitely.
Oh, I'm blanking.
I think what's the question? Like one of the funniest.
Yeah,
things.
funniest or more interesting thing he said, and it's like, for example, we had people say, the coach come out and say, "Hey, guy, nothing too much," and then proceeds to give a 30-minute speech, right? Something.
That's
some things
Sedlock
like that.
to a T.
That's so Sedlock.
That's Sedlock to a T. I think. Yeah, that's definitely Sedlock. And
That-
like when you want to have like a long conversation with him about something, he's just like, "Oh yeah, we'll figure it out." Like, he wants to have the conversation when he wants to have the conversation.
Right, or he'll call you,
Yeah.
and he'll set the tone every time he calls you. He'll call you. He'll have bad news. He'll just go, "What's up, Sawyer?"
Love that. We had him on the show. That's definitely him. So that's awesome. So shout out to Coach. And then, what's something you wish adults would understand better about being a teenager today?
Something adults wish would understand better. I think it's more just like trust. I mean, my parents like are super trusting with me, but like in general, like some of my friends' parents, like they don't really trust them enough, and they're not really like doing anything that bad. They're kind of just thinking of like the worst case scenario.
Right. As parents, that's what we do. But yeah, I appreciate that. How about?
Yeah, I agree. Like I understand that like that's kind of a parent's job. Like that's what they're supposed to do. But I think sometimes for some people, I mean, my parents are like very good about a lot of things, but I think sometimes they can just be overbearing or overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's like you guys are gonna be parents one day, so
Yeah.
you see,
Yeah.
you'll be on the other spectrum.
Yeah.
But I totally appreciate that trust for sure. And the last one here, if you could go back to 6th grade, what advice would you give yourself?
If I could go back to 6th grade, what advice would I give myself?
Thinking about how fast high school went.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
probably say, start studying now. Like
Yeah.
Start studying now.
start studying.
Oh
now.
yeah.
Start studying now. Maybe like start doing a little bit more push-ups, sit-ups, get in shape a little bit faster.
I like that.
I think I definitely tell myself to start studying now because it was like 7th grade, which is like I feel like that's the year where you really build a lot of your studying habits and everything and gets you ready for high school. That was like my COVID year. So I went into high school and I felt like I didn't have any of those skills.
I was in 8th grade, yeah, and I just didn't go to online class at all.
Right. And so when I finally get to high school and COVID restrictions are down and it's real school again, I was like lost.
Wow.
And I feel like also I would want to tell myself to kind of like to find something and really stick to it. Because I feel like I spent a lot of time in middle school, like trying to figure out, like trying to spread myself too thin, trying to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have any real time.
Like trying to play different sports and
like
trying to
different
just do
sports and having different hobbies and stuff, like, which is good. But I felt like I did it to a degree where I, didn't really pick one to really get good at. And also I was kind of putting some of my social or school like in jeopardy.
Got it. Yeah, and those are good. I mean, good. Like talk about studying, right? I mean, there's never too early to start that. And then you guys talk about picking things and just sticking with it. It's awesome. No, these are great messages, guys. It was so great having you on the podcast. It I really want to wish the best luck with this season.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Hopefully, when we meet again in June.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's celebrated big time. But regardless, like you said, you guys play with pride, play with a lot of poise. So it's really fun to watch you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Of course.
for
Thanks so
having
much,
us.
guys.